Hey Reddit, what's the strangest coincidence you've ever personally experienced? When I was a kid, around 13, I played a lot of a video game called Diablo 2. I started a clan with a few people I'd met on the internet and we played every day. At some point we were helping some random person and he asked to join. We thought he was nice enough, so we let him in. As part of this clan we had a shared account we used to store game items for each other. After about a month of playing, this new guy goes in and changed the password, steals the account and defriends everyone. Completely disappears off the map with all of our stuff. Fast forward a year later, and my family moves to Texas and it's my first day at school. I'm sitting in algebra class talking to the person in the seat next to me, and he mentions he plays Diablo. I said me too, and that I ran a clan and everything. I asked his username, and it was him 2,000 miles away from where I first virtually met this guy. He's sitting next to me in math class. When I told him mine, his face went into total shock and he didn't know how to respond. It was awkward for sure. Ended up telling him I didn't care and was over it, but let's just say we didn't end up becoming friends. Probably thought you had tracked him down to exact your revenge. My screen name is Inigo_Montoya. You stole my stuff in Diablo. Prepare to die. Edit, spelling. Diablo. Shucks. In freshman physics, I became friends with the Japanese kid next to me. After a while he was helping me with my Japanese homework, did really well after that, BTW. But after that class, we kinda drifted apart. Fast forward 2 years, where I'm an exchange student in Japan over the summer, and doing some sightseeing in Kyoto after the program. I'm crossing the street in Kyoto, and I hear my name being called out. I look around and there he is. Thousands of miles apart we meet again. We got some drinks and good food together. It was a blast. No, his hometown was not Kyoto, he was also doing sightseeing, while home for the summer. Edit, my first gold. Thank you, kind internet stranger. That's absolutely insane. The odds are unreal, not only the same place, but the same time, and in sightline/vicinity. To be fair, in season it feels like half the world is doing sightseeing in Kyoto. Carrot speaks the truth. I met a Canadian guy while on holiday in South America and we ended up going sightseeing together. At the end of the day a person behind us tapped him on the shoulder and asked if the scar behind his ear was from cancer surgery. They got talking. Turns out they were from the same small town in Canada, had the same type of brain cancer, and had been operated on by the same surgeon. Something's up with that town. No, nothing's up with it. It's just a coincidence that the town just happens to be Cancerville, Manitoba. Welcome to Cancerville population, constantly multiplying. Hey. That's the same slogan as Fucksville. Edit, thank you for the silver, you kind soul. When I was 18, I lived in a town a very long ways away from where I ended up moving. I struck up a friendship with this guy from work in that town. We play Halo, watch movies, ECT, and he was awesome. I ended up moving suddenly due to a family emergency and never got his contact information. I didn't even remember his name a decade later, but I thought of him often as he was an awesome guy through all the years. 11 years later, I'm working at my job, carpooling with someone from my training class, and one night he asks if I mind his room at being in the car as he was going to take the car after we got off at work and use it for the night. He introduces us, I turn around, and in the backseat is the guy from the town a very long ways away. We reconnected immediately, and now live together. He's my best friend, for sure, and the godfather to my children. Your coworker must have been more stunned than you two were, lol. Especially since he stole his roommate. Focusing on the victims of the story. Thank you, kind soul. When I was a kid, while hiking with my dad I was babbling and said, the teacher told us, if you speak too much a fly will get in your mouth. In the exact moment a fly flew into my mouth. I was riding my bicycle very fast, and ran through a group of mosquitoes. One went into my nose which caused me to open my mouth, which resulted in a lot going into it. I crashed sneezing and coughing on the ground trying to get them out. Bystanders thought I was having a seizure or something and tried to help while my friends stood there laughing. You got some great friends lol. Told this story elsewhere, but I'm making you all read it again. Was at a convention. There were only a few people in the room. My friend and I wanted an autograph from a voice actor. He started singing in his character voice. There were two random guys next to me. One pulled out a video camera to record it. Years later, my husband and I are talking with friends, and the convention comes up. The guy with the video camera was my husband. I also took a picture later that day of the crowds, and he is in that picture. I stood next to my husband years before I met him. Edit. Thank you to everyone who shared their stories. Amazing how our lives can intersect. And a big thank you to the Redditor who gifted silver. It's a major award. Okay, that's insane lol. This reminds me of a couple that were in the same Disney photo as children. That story is consistently my mental go-to for the crazy coincidence question. The odds of that Disney story even exists is truly astronomical. Two sets parents from different countries go to Disney at the same day, and the girl just happens to pass by in the background in a stroller of the boy who's getting his photo taken at that exact same spot. My brain can't even comprehend the odds of that. The person who sits next to me at work copies everything I do, except she has no way of knowing. I wear a blue sweater, she wears a blue sweater. I bring leftover spaghetti, she brings leftover spaghetti. It is so weird I almost hate her. Are you sure you don't sit by a mirror? Op is a dog. Op, do you hate vacuums? I don't know if this counts as a coincidence, because it might be influenced by the commonalities between us, but I was reading through one of my dad's old journals, and found out that he and I share the same reoccurring nightmare. The details are basically identical, even down to the frequency of it happening, once a month. It's very trippy. Edit. Just to answer some facts, as far as I can remember I never discussed this with my dad. I felt okay perusing his journal, because he's been dead for quite a while now, before his time, but having nothing in common with the details of the dream, it was suicide. I guess you can make of that what you will. I've detailed the dream itself below. That sounds like a plot from Supernatural. Dad went on a hunting trip. And he hasn't been home in a few days. Had a kidney transplant last year. Nurse makes a comment about it having my name on it. He elaborated to say that the donor has the same surname as me. Plot twist, donor was a parent/sibling. Or he lived in a country where about 10 surnames make up 90% of the population. Nguyen situation.